Take your position. The show is about to start.
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to On Screen, where we discuss all things cinema all the time. Here's your hosts.
the award goes to
Joe Brunett, Joe Cuffney, and Jesse Reichenstein. Lights, camera, action.
Good morning. This episode we will be talking about Horrible Bosses 2, which I believe is a sequel to Horrible Bosses 1.
Totally separate, not related, just coincidence of a name.
This is just randomly called Horrible Bosses 2.
Yeah,
Or they called it a sequel, but it's not actually. Like, they realized there is a movie called Horrible Bosses and they just called it 2 because they can't call it Horrible Bosses again. That would actually be hilarious for like a sequel, or not even just like a name for a movie. Just like if you
tag it on.
Like, I'm gonna make this movie called Halloween, but just call it Halloween 2, but it has nothing to do with Michael Myers or Halloween.
I'm into it. Man, we usually get to those good movie ideas towards the end, but right off the
bat.
Right.
Jesse picked this one, and have you guys all seen the first one? I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the first one.
First one's so freaking funny. I just love this cast. But yeah, go into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say so I was going through like trying to find a movie to pick, and then there was like, I want to do like Licorice Pizza, and then I was like, no, like come on. And then it was like a $20 rental thing, and I was like, I'll wait, and then whatever I picked, same. Oh, King Richard's also not on HBO anymore. And so I'm going through HBO to like find something. I'm like, what's out there? And then Horrible Bosses 2 pops up on HBO. And I was like, they made a Horrible Bosses 2? I loved that movie. I'm thinking it's like recent. It's 2014. It's like a couple years after, I think Horrible Bosses is like 2011 or something. And so I was like, oh, that's crazy. I'm picking this. Like, how can it, even if it's bad, it's going to be good kind of deal. And also I will say the whole time I was watching the movie, I had that feeling the whole time of, have I seen this before? I don't know. I don't think I have, but maybe I did watch this.
I mean, it's literally essentially the first movie, just like a little different.
Yeah.
Which I like. I mean, I'm glad because I didn't know there was a sequel either. But I loved the first one. I think like I remember seeing this in theaters, or the first one in theaters, and I thought it was so funny. Like, it's just one of those comedies that they casted well because everyone loves these three people. Everyone loves these like actors. So you can't go wrong.
A good trio of
and
like
everyone. Jennifer Aniston is so good. Like everyone.
Yeah, I agree. They fit
like,
so well together.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll get into this a little bit because I want to hear what Joe thought, but Motherfucker Jones is one of my favorite characters.
No, I had
so
the same
funny.
take. He's so good.
I just think like I would love to see it. I'll just wait. I'm gonna wait. Joe, you get into it first.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I thought Motherfucker Jones, I mean, from the first movie, he was probably my favorite part. And then yet again, in the second one, just stole the show. I feel like the thing I like most about it is that like, not like, even though he kind of does provide like useful advice, I guess, but like, I can't help but think he's just messing with them because, because like they think he's like this crazy guy. He's just like, got a family and like all this other stuff. I think we really learned a little bit more about Motherfucker Jones. I don't know. I just love the character. Jamie Foxx is awesome.
I agree. It's so funny.
I like when they have the cat tree in the back of his car, and he's like, what, I think I can't have kittens.
I love that dude. I feel like deep down he does want to help. Like he has a family and everything. So he's definitely like he has a heart. So he's like, I'm gonna mess with these people, but I'm also I'll try to help them too. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's
now,
so
what did
good.
you guys, how compared to the first, I guess don't compare, but like, what did you think about this one compared to the first one?
I didn't like it as good as the first one, but I mean, it was funny. Like I don't know. Like this almost seemed like too smart for them.
I agree, kind of. Well, the beauty about this movie though, and these characters is that they do everything wrong. Like throughout this movie, it was like, oh, they have this great idea. Then either Charlie messes up, someone messes it up. And it's
Right.
like, It's hilarious. I love that aspect because it's like, how are they going to get out of this? And they just keep doing the wrong thing. And I'm like, how are they going to get out of this like at all?
I was gonna say, I like was thinking during this, I was like, I love like horrible criminal movies, like where people are just really bad at being criminals. And I love the sequence where they're talking through the plan and it's like showing it happening as if you're to believe that it's actually going that well. And then at the end, they're like, Charlie, why are your kids in this fantasy? Like in the pool, he's like, let me just have it, and then of course, like right from the get-go, the plan, he like forgets to put the phone there, like the tiny masks. I just love that. And like obviously it's such a good cast for that, because like I mean Charlie Day obviously is so good at playing the like kind of like dumb crazy kind of like, and then Jason Bateman is actually such a good, like not commonly found in I think a comedy trio like that, where it's like such a good grounding character of like makes it kind of believable, like actually kind of brings them back to earth, but is still along for the ride, like is very much into it like them. And then Jason Sudeikis is just like the most likable funny person, so it's like really good dynamics.
What happened to decency? Do you realize I'm gonna lose my house? Yeah. Stacy's gonna divorce me. She's gonna marry some dude. I'm gonna have supervised business at a McDonald's. Fucking McDonald's!
What were we thinking? Who bets on themselves? Why the fuck do we do that?
What? You fucking do. You're the one who talked me into it. I was on the fence.
I had the idea. You were
Our
almost
employees
on my
are fucked.
side.
What about them?
Okay.
What about Lupe? Okay. Hey, you know what? This is just a problem. That means all we gotta do is come up with a solution, right?
You know what we would do? We would put some ideas up on the board, right?
That's what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
there we go. Here we go, boys.
No idea's a bad idea. Let's go.
No idea's a bad idea.
Who's gonna start us off?
I got it. Kurt.
It's funny because I feel like at least not Jason Sudeikis as much, but Jason Bateman and Charlie are very typecast. Like they're typecast. Like they do the same characters every single movie. Jason Bateman and Charlie. Like they do that, but it works. I never get old of I never get sick of these characters. Like Jason Bateman.
They're both amazing.
Funny. They're so funny. And like, even though he does the same kind of like, monotone, like not really emotion. He's like kind of emotionless. He's got that personality where he's like, I don't really care, blah, blah, blah. But it still works. It works really well.
And they're both, I mean, Jason Sudeikis actually fully in this now is with Ted Lasso too. But I was gonna say all three of them are amazing, like
character
showrunners, creators.
True.
They all also like executive produce material, write material, like create their own shows and run them, like all of them.
You can tell,
which is kind of crazy.
I mean, that's probably why they got all these other big names to be in the movie. They're like, oh, these guys are geniuses. And I feel like and I also feel like it was kind of like I got It's Always Sunny vibes for sure. Like a little like from Charlie. I'm sure he had a hand in helped writing, just as like how he like did things. And like I could see the gang doing like the kidnapping, and that would go wrong. And then like with the little masks, like I could see that being an It's Always Sunny episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like, I like this one, but I agree it's not as good as the first one. I think there were just a few things missing that was so good in the first one, that like giving them more of their own identity, I guess. Because like in the first one, you had them all do their own little task essentially. Like Charlie went to Jason Bateman's boss's house, and all those people, and I think they had their own little more personality to each of them. And I feel like this one they were all kind of the same. I don't know. I just wish there was a little more. Like I wish they went a little more. It was just kind of like plateaued for me at a certain point. Like I knew exactly what I was getting, because in the first one it kind of elevated a little bit. Like I always think of Charlie in the car when he does the cocaine in the first one. I think that is one of the funniest scenes. He's like, "That's not my name. That's not my name." I think that's so funny, and they didn't have a lot of that in this movie. So I think that was what was missing for me.
They call me Hell. They call me Stacy. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. They call me Hell. They call me Her. They call me Hell. They call me Stacy. That's not my name. That's not my name.
That's what I was thinking a little bit about when Joe Cuffney mentioned not liking it as much as the first one, but it was still funny.
Right.
I was like, yeah, like it wasn't as good as the first one, and it was still funny, but it definitely felt like that sequel where they're like we hit something really good, and so like let's try to milk a little more out of it, and it's still funny, but it's very much just pulling at the same things,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
The first one was.
I just think like the in the whole like plot, I just don't think works as well either. It's like, I don't know. The first one's literally horrible bosses. This one's just like horrible like transaction.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
just
They wanna
it's
be
just
their
those
own.
guys continuing to exist, really. You know,
But they're now kind of the horrible bosses, and then they take
Right.
that money from the guy who's kind of their boss, and he's horrible. They do
Yeah.
say the name of the movie, kind of.
Do they?
I mean, they say horrible bosses. I don't know
Oh.
if they tacked on two, but
but I just feel
Uh,
like I
you're
feel like
watching Horrible
them
Bosses.
working was such a small part of that whole thing. Like basically, like
Right.
it was like they created a business and they immediately got screwed, and that was it. You know, it was all the other stuff that was actually funny.
Right. I noticed this in this one. They love their time lapse shots. Like they're like they would do a lot of like slow, you know, the camera would move like this, like they would dolly a little bit, and it would just everything would go really fast. They use that a bunch in this movie, which I thought was kind of funny. It's hard with these types of movies to like make them different and unique because they're, you know, they're just like comedy, not action, but kind of action comedy movies. And it's like, how do you make it different than any other action comedy movie? And it's like, I feel like they did a little bit with like the graphics and like some of the editing and stuff. I think so. I think it's funny. I feel like these types of movies are kind of like canvases for like creating, I don't know, trying new things for filmmaking. Cause like you can't really do much with this type of movie, like effects wise and stuff. But,
I mean, this is Sean Anders, who I wouldn't have known that name other than I don't know if you've seen Instant Family from a couple years ago. That was like a Mark Wahlberg, Rose Byrne.
oh wait,
like where they adopt
yeah, I think we watched
all the
that.
kids, and it's like kind of based on a true story.
Yes, we
But
watched
Sean
that.
Anders was the director of that.
Oh, okay.
And or writer and director, I don't know. Yeah, he at least wrote it. I think he directed it too. But he's also like, I mean, in old school, like Sean Anders, who wrote this, but not the first one.
Right.
But he also wrote She's Out of My League, Sex Drive, Hot Tub Time Machine, Where the Millers,
Yeah, this makes
Daddy's
sense.
Home, Daddy's Home too. You know, like, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy,
He's got a thing.
I mean, he's funny. He's funny
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because like I feel like there's a lot of comedies like this, but it's hard to make like I don't know, like for me, like I like comedies, but they're not like my favorite genre. So like I want them to be good. Like if there's like a mediocre comedy, I'm just like, ugh. But I feel like these types, like Where the Millers is hilarious. Like I think that's such a funny movie, and like same with these two movies. I think they're just funny. Like they're different enough where I like them, and the comedy is funny. I think it's also due to the characters, or the actors. But
I'll send you the podcast that he's on, really in regards to Instant Family. But he's an interesting, cool guy.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down to listen. I really want them to make throughout this. I was like Motherfucker Jones is like, he's like one of those side characters I just love. And I was like, what if there's like a multiverse movie where all my favorite side characters are in a movie? Like Rafi, you have
would
Rod
love
from
that.
Get Out, you have Motherfucker Jones, and they
That
all
is
just,
chaos.
I
That is
know.
chaos.
But it would be so funny.
Okay, how about this? Like an Ocean's 12, like Ocean's 11,
Oh my
you know, like style
God.
movie, but with that's the crew.
I would watch that so hard. Man, I kind of want to make a little team then. I'm going to make my own Ocean's side character team, and I will post it.
That's a funny game.
Yeah,
I think you're like Ocean's 11 team.
I like that. But one of my favorite quotes was when they were driving the car. The car chase was so funny. First of all, I think that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. But when he was like, they passed the train, and he's like, and that's how you lose the cops. And they're like, we're not trying to lose the cops. And he just takes a sip, and he's like,
That's how you lose the cup. That's how you lose
We're not supposed to lose the cup.
Don't lose the cup.
I love that. And then like Sudeikis, you know, we're just gonna wait here until the train passes, and then we're gonna keep going.
they're just chewing the Twizzlers.
Oh my god, so funny.
God, I love that. But
Also, I mean, Chris Pine. Was definitely gonna say Hemsworth like
They're the same person.
before this podcast. Yeah. I thought he was good, and then
He
also
was good, actually.
Christoph Waltz. I oddly like Christoph Waltz is amazing, and
He's
I just
always good in everything.
I love when people like Christoph Waltz show up in movies like this that are just like so silly and ridiculous. But like Christoph Waltz is also such an amazing like actor in serious roles.
Right.
That when he shows up and he plays like a caricature of crazy, I don't know. I mean, it's like a cartoon version of that character, but who he plays it. And I'm like, oh, it's always I always love it when like really good dramatic actors pop in like that.
And I think that they do it because they're like, I like these people. Like, I like the filmmakers. I like the actors. I want to work with them. Like, they probably, I don't know. I'm sure they had a connection with Christopher Waltz, or they probably wanted him in it, I assume. And he's just one of those actors who I feel like everyone wants to work with. But yeah, Chris Pine was actually good. I'm usually not a fan of him, but I actually really liked him in this movie. He was really good. But yeah, I was literally I was like, this character and like Bad Times at the El Royale, that cult leader, like I feel like that I could just see
Same
both
vibe.
Chris's playing the same role, just like
Yeah,
like the same thing.
Same universe, maybe.
Whoa, that would be crazy. Yeah,
We have
I don't know.
locations.
LA. I mean, it's all LA.
What was the bridge? Do we know?
I could look. I don't know. I didn't write these ones down. I was being lazy today. I'll look it up though. They're pretty. I mean, if you're in LA, I'm sure you could easily find these places.
I love it. We should have that on our app.
If
Where it's like you
you're
look up a
in-
movie and it's like, dude, if you're in LA, you can figure it out, man.
Dude, some people can, man. They watch movies and they're like, I know exactly where that is, which is impressive.
It's true. Like if you know that place well, it does like jump off the screen to you.
Yeah, let's rewind a couple weeks to Drunk Bus.
Mhm.
That's true.
I love that. That's the one that I'm like, yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah.
So good.
I do a couple trivia facts. Well, one that really
Ooh.
actually matters that I think is interesting. But apparently, this is the first sequel that Jennifer Aniston has ever done.
That feels like one of those facts that's not true, but I'm sure it is.
Yeah, right.
But like, it's so crazy. It's
insane.
Yeah, I guess TV. I was gonna say, like, how many seasons of Friends were there? But
Oh, well, that's TV though.
I know,
Like
it doesn't
sequel.
count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is a really bizarre trivia fact that I have no idea why it's in here.
Is this
But-
IMDb or is this?
Yeah, this is IMDb.
Okay.
The second movie in 2014 that Chris Pine punches himself in the face.
Love that. I love that.
that's a good fact.
All right, thanks for the fun fact there. You could literally say that about anything. This is the third movie that Charlie blinks. The first one to blink on screen.
No, that's not true though. I've gone back. That's not true. It's
Oh my gosh. I do I was hoping that at the end it was kind of like, because I feel like these three guys, I feel like the ending for them, like they need a good boss, right? They need like a good boss. That's like the whole premise of who they are. Like they hate their bosses. They deserve a good boss. Well, they don't, because they kind of suck. But actually they're
They're
fine.
their own bosses.
That's true, but I feel like they should
Brunett.
end with motherfucker Jones as their boss, because they always like see him, run to him. He should be the one leading them at the end. I think that would be hilarious.
they were setting up that trilogy though.
That's
Yes.
true.
That is actually some great insight, though. I didn't really think about that. But basically, they always like they need that like central figure of authority, and I think to them, that's motherfucker Jones.
Exactly. He
I
runs.
didn't think about
He knows
that.
how to run them. He's like, okay, you guys are my employees. Like he knows. They both know each other so well. I think that would work.
So funny.
Now I doubt they'll make a third one, but I hope they do to make that happen.
Somebody asked on IMDb, will there be a third Horrible Bosses film? I think I should answer.
You should. You should be like, no, I don't know, but we have a great idea for it. Or it's greenlit. Just make a live.
It's good that we're in production.
Where it's in production.
I haven't looked at IMDb for 1-star reviews. I usually pull them from Google.
Whoa.
But
Google boy.
all right, I'm gonna read a review.
Read that review.
I might read two, but because I've not read these before, so hopefully they're good. Okay, This one's from Speedy69.
Dope.
In 2017. So he waited a couple years to watch the movie, like us. Simply awful.
Wait.
1 star.
1 star. Okay.
Please do not make another follow-up is the title. Simply awful. After 34 painful minutes, both my wife and I looked at each other and agreed that enough was enough. Also, I just want to say, I don't like when the reviews are like, I only watched 20 minutes of it.
Right.
But anyways, which is why I liked the Tragedy Macbeth one where they were like, we walked out 20 minutes before it ended. I was like, you got all the way there. And then you were like, no.
That one gets me. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. After 34 painful minutes, both my wife and I looked at each other and agreed that enough was enough. For us, Charlie Day's prepubescent squawking was the movie's buster. No man, even with a beard, should ever sound like that. I'm sure there is an audience for this type of film, and it appears to have made a lot of money, but each set piece was far worse than the last. The original Three Stooges would have been cringing at this pile of poo. Even the American Pie series came across as positively Shakespearean. It would be better all around if these actors went their separate ways and considered it best a place not to revisit ever again. I sincerely hope the makers do not think of making another sequel or even worse still, a prequel.
Whoa. I didn't even think about a prequel.
Whoa is right.
That would be crazy.
And people are walking out of movies and reviews, man.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie. Actually, no, technically we switched movies. I don't know I think Jesse, I don't know who was there. I was with JT. It was JT, me, and someone else. Wait, what? Was it you, Joe?
No, I just said shout out.
Shout out.
Oh, shout out. There was 3 of us, and we went to go see, I think there's a movie called Savages, and it was like with Blake Lively and I don't know who else. I don't even know. And then we were there, and the first like 20, not even, I think it was like 15 minutes, there was like a sex scene or something. And JT's like, we should go, you want to go to a different movie? And I was like, all right. So we moved to, I think it was, I can't remember which one we saw, but it was, I think it was some action movie or something. I just thought that was funny though. That was the only time I've ever, quote unquote, walked out of a movie theater.
I've never walked out, but I remember the one I should have walked out on is, but I think we were kids, so it's not, I don't know what we'd done. I went to Meet the Spartans, I believe, with Griffin.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And that movie, the trailer was hilarious, but literally the trailer showed the only funny parts. So you basically were watching just to get to the trailer parts. And I feel like some of the trailer parts didn't even make it into the movie.
Right.
And it was so bad. And I just remember both of us watching it being like, we were so pumped for this. This was right up our alley, and it's so bad.
Yeah, they tried all those scary movie spinoffs, like disaster movie, epic movie, all the superhero movie. I remember seeing all those in theaters because like they were hilarious at the time.
Yeah,
but I'm scared to go back and rewatch them because I just like they're probably garbage.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's funny. So you should have walked out, but you didn't.
Correct.
Okay,
stuck it through.
I remember seeing that in theaters too, actually.
I'm curious just to rewatch the trailer now to be like, what were the funny parts that we wanted to go see?
Hey, well, the trailer, it did its job though. It got you to go to the movie, right?
It did. They took our money.
And you regret paying for that movie.
I'm still in a lawsuit against them to get that like $7-8
Regal Cinemas.
Back. We saw it at Pittsford.
Of course. Yeah, you guys went to Pittsford, I feel like.
Yeah. So coming after you.
Meet the Spartans. I mean, I don't know. There's not much to.
There's not a whole lot. Yeah.
I was gonna say
that. You guys have favorite
I'm looking at
parts?
other reviews, and all the other 1-star reviews are like the exact same thing. Everyone hates Charlie Day's voice.
I think
it's
the
annoying.
voice is so. If I was like hanging out with him in person and he was just ranting on like that, I think I would get annoyed. But on a screen, it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's just talented. Like he's just great.
Like somebody said, they're trying too hard to be funny. Charlie Day, irritating voice too. Jason Bateman is always natural and convincing. Sudeikis, 50-50. 60 minutes into the movie, I walked out.
Wow.
You know, the Curtindale characters are the dumbest people. I don't think anyone in their right minds would be friends with them, much less go into business with them. Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston, and Jamie Foxx made it bearable. But the real surprise is Chris Pine. Watching it for his charming performance, it made Jason Sudeikis and Charlie Day's performance look even more labored and exhausting.
Damn.
Still 1 star, but
That's hilarious. I also feel like that song, the "How do you like me now?" I feel like that's used in so many freaking movies. It was also in the first Horrible Bosses too, which I thought was funny. I just think that every
that's
montage,
a good trivia thing
like
is
me
how
now.
how many movies has that song been in? That'd
Yeah,
be
probably.
good trivia.
I'm gonna Google it actually.
Yeah.
Who sings it? I don't even know. Oh, the Heavy.
The Heavy.
It's been used in large number of times. Thank you. Usage in media. I mean, there's a bunch. Yeah, I don't even want to name them all. Got that buddy cop action comedy vibe.
What's the Mark Wahlberg movie with the cop with the
Nice Guys,
bad
right?
cops?
Or no?
Nice Guys.
No, that's the one with Nice Guys is like Ryan Gosling and what's his name? Russell Crowe. And then I don't know, dude. There's so many like this that they're all one little pile of movies. I can't even. They're all the same, but they're funny. I mean, I think I did watch that Mark Wahlberg one.
Right? There's some. Or Cop Out, the Tracy Morgan, Bruce Willis.
Dude, there's so many. Like Get Hard, like all those freaking movies.
Yeah.
Are, like I don't even know.
Now, should we just
Let's
rate
rate
and
it,
wrap
yeah.
up this one?
Let's rate it. You go first.
Ooh. I'm gonna go. We're going in the 6s. We're gonna go decimal out. We're gonna go 6.25 on this one. I don't even know. I feel like it should maybe get higher because it was funny. Like I did laugh.
I laughed.
It was actually like it was enjoyable. It's like a great movie to put on where you don't have to pay attention to it. It's just funny. Like, like you kind of have to follow some storylines, but also it's not that important. So like it's okay if you miss some things, it'll still be funny.
Right.
But not as good as the first one. But again, it's just like how everything goes back to like creating worlds that I want to be in. I don't want to be in this world, but the cast is so amazing that like it's just fun to watch the cast do their thing.
Yeah. Like you
so
can never get tired of this. Like I could never get tired of watching these characters.
Yeah.
Like there could be 10 horrible boss movies and I would probably enjoy them all.
Exactly. You come out with a third, I'm still gonna watch it.
Exactly.
So 6.25. Really blanking on a good Roars.
Okay. Oh yeah, nice. Solid.
That was the song, right? That was the
yeah, Katy
That was
Perry.
the song.
Yeah. I love when that played and the cops are like, he's confident.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
confident.
Joe, you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, I have much the same feelings as all of you guys. I'm going 5.9, which I kind of feel like it should be higher because I did like enjoy watching it, but I just feel like there wasn't much to it.
No.
That, you know what I mean? So I'm going 5.9 sips of whatever motherfucker Jones was drinking.
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers,
Yeah.
Twizzlers.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I mean, it's funny. Like if you're looking just for like a comedy movie to throw on, like these movies are just fun. Cleaning the house, doing shit, whatever you're doing, just throw this on. It's fun.
Perfect 10.
Take the 10. Yeah, I mean the cast is fantastic. I think there just could have been more, like I said earlier. I think it could have just been like, I don't know. I think they just kind of got lazy with their writing a little bit. I do like how things kind of trickled down. Like it was like a domino effect. Like when when they were doing the kidnapping, when Christopher Waltz like picked up the phone. Like, first of all, it was the wrong phone. It was Jason Sudeikis' phone. And then Jennifer Aniston comes in, and then his wife comes in, and there's this whole thing going on. I just like how it kept going with that. That was kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, solid. I'm gonna go six cat trees. It's like a solid comedy. Yeah, I mean, would recommend to people fans of these actors too.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I noticed just because last week I know it came up that Joe Cuffney was starting to watch Ted Lasso, but Coach Beard had a little cameo in this.
Oh yeah, that's who that was. I was
in the sex addict meeting. I mean, he just kind of was there playing, similar kind of character vibe. But I was like, oh, look, Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis and him. I wonder if that's where they met or if they knew each other before.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's a great question.
It's the origin story of Ted Lasso.
So Ted Lasso fans, check it out.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
Movie news.
Honestly, I've been so busy.
Yeah, just to get it out of the way, because I said I'm going to do it every week, and I already told you before the podcast. Search Party, guys, gotta watch Search Party.
Wait, what Search Party?
I'm like, oh my god, season 5 just came out. I'm rewatching it. You gotta watch it. It's so good.
I know. I haven't watched anything new. I don't think. I'm trying to think of other news though. I've been watching Full House because of Bob Saget. Other than that,
I watched 2 horror movies.
Whoa, what? Tell me.
And I don't really know why I was in the headspace to do this, but I was going skiing, so I watched Frozen.
Oh, I was gonna pick that at some point. What did you think?
I'm still picturing the Pixar movie.
Do you like those like survival horror movies? Like, what did you think?
I mean, it was okay. Like I think I basically, what happened was I started it and I was like, oh, because I think we had just recently talked about the mountain that was filmed on. And I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember talking about this. And then I got deep enough into it that I was like, okay, I need to finish this. I need closure.
I love how you like do research before. Like for me, I just throw on a movie and you're just like, all right, I need to know if I'm gonna like it or not. I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, like you had just mentioned it, so like it was
That's
kind of
true.
in my brain, which is why when I saw it, I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Right.
But anyway, I watched that. It was fun, but it was like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the best movie I've ever seen, but it was good.
What you didn't like about it, was it the horror aspect, or was it just like you just didn't like it? Just didn't like appeal to you. Like, was
just
it
a little slow for me, honestly?
Okay. Gotcha.
But like I appreciate how that would be really scary.
Yeah. Because there's not movies like that. I mean, then the whole wolf scene was fucking crazy.
Yeah. Did that, and then I ended up watching like the back half of Pumpkinhead.
You watched Okay, I have a lot of questions.
The back half of it.
Yeah, I like it was just on TV, and so I turned it on.
Okay. I was like, first of all, that is a random ass movie. Like, not many people.
It's really weird.
Not many
movie.
people watch Pumpkinhead unless you're like a true horror fan. And
see, like I don't know. I horror fan light. Like I don't know.
What'd you think?
It was really weird.
It's very like 70s
weird.
campy. Like it's got low budget. It's like
I didn't even think the guy looked like he had a pumpkin on his head. Like he just looked like an alien.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you know what's hilarious? In one of the VHS artwork, like in the back, there's a shot of Pumpkinhead. I think it's it's Pumpkinhead. And you can see the actor's tennis shoes because they forgot to like crop it out. That was a little fun fact.
It's funny.
Misprint. That's so funny. That
I would love though if you like were searching for it and you're like, oh, this looks interesting, but I only want you like, I'll fast forward to the second half though. Like this obscure horror movie, just the last half.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, no, I was just popping around and I was like, I don't know. I was just in a weird headspace where I was like, yeah, this sounds good. Let's watch this.
Sure. That's hilarious to me.
But anyway.
Yeah, I haven't watched really anything. I mean, I haven't had time, unfortunately. But yeah, I know.
No news. I mean, Sundance wrapped up, but I have no news from it.
No, I haven't done.
So
I know. Couple of movies coming out. I'm trying to think the Batman's coming out in March. What else we got?
Batman.
Oh, Hocus Pocus 2 wrap filming. So curious to see what they do with that.
Ooh.
Disney Plus, I believe. Is that a wrap?
Yeah. Quiet
that
week.
might be
I think
it.
we're all just like,
It's a short movie and a quiet week.
hey, that's all right. We'll just I mean, I was glad we went the comedy route though, because I was like, it was nice to have this as like a little reset. Because I don't
I always feel forced to do that. I mean, I force myself to do that, but you guys sometimes have some questionable dark picks, and then like you gotta go light.
true that.
I get it once every 3 weeks. You gotta fit something in.
I know. And part of me is like, then for my pick, I'm like, do I keep going with the comedy or do I don't know. I have to, because I haven't really picked a horror film in a bit, but I don't.
Yeah,
think
you've picked them all the time, so don't pick that. Anyways.
No, I didn't. Last week, what did I pick last week? I picked
Pumpkinhead.
I'm picking Pumpkinhead, but the second half.
You gotta pick the first half. I've already seen the second half.
We're only reviewing half the movie. That would actually be kind of funny. Like, we don't know anything about a movie and we just watch the last half and see if we like it or not.
Yeah, I will say that when I worked at the video store, I watched A Beautiful Mind so many times, and I never watched the ending. And oh man, is that movie different when you don't know the ending? And I had watched it like 10 times, and then I finally paid attention and watched through because I just had it like playing.
Yeah.
And yeah, wow, different movie.
I've never seen it.
Still a fan. You got to watch the ending.
Just the ending.
That would probably give you more than the first part, but
Oh, some news. Halloween Ends started filming in Savannah, Georgia.
in Savannah.
I saw some of those, like the pictures of Jamie Lee Curtis and stuff.
Dude, it's like
It's exciting.
apparently it's like 4 years after the Halloween Kills. So I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna go on in this movie. So
Oh, you know what I was gonna say too, Brandon? Thing I saw on Instagram, probably from you, one of the Halloween posts.
yeah.
And the character Laurie's daughter,
A granddaughter. Wait, which one?
granddaughter?
Judy Greer's the
Granddaughter.
daughter.
No, granddaughter.
Okay. Allison.
Not Judy Greer. Maud Apatow could play that. And she kind of looks like the girl.
I could see that.
When
I
you
could see
posted,
that.
actually, it was like, oh wait, why is Maud Apatow in a Halloween thing? And I was like, we've watched this movie. It's not.
I could see her doing that.
You could pull it off.
All right. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think so.